Malaysia is willing to consider issuing another samurai bond if it can obtain rates similar to the 0.63% per annum achieved in the earlier issuance of the 200 billion yen, which is approximately 7.3 billion ringgit last week. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said if the Japan Bank for International Cooperation (JBIC) is willing to give a similar low rate, the government will definitely consider it very seriously.
This is a testimony to Japanese investors' confidence in the Malaysian economy and the fiscal reforms carried out by the government under the leadership of Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad. The government of Malaysia is firmly committed to fiscal sustainability in order to strengthen our resilience and achieve sustainable as well as equitable growth for all Malaysians.
He said that after the commemoration on the successful completion of the samurai bond issuance earlier today. Lim said proceeds from the samurai bond issuance would provide a breathing space for the government to honour its debt obligations, as well as to finance infrastructure development, including the construction of schools, hospitals, roads and utilities. The World Congress on Information Technology WCIT 2020 is expected to generate more than 10 billion ringgit in investments. According to Communications and Multimedia Minister Gobind Singh Deo, this was based on the positive impact of the WCIT held in Malaysia in 2008, which drew investments worth more than 8 billion ringgit.
Selain daripada pelaburan, ianya juga telah pun membolehkan ataupun kita lihat banyak peluang pekerjaan yang telah pun juga dijana melalui inisiatif ini. Ini adalah perkara yang penting untuk kita.
The minister was speaking after officiating at the pre-launch of WCIT 2020 earlier today. This 23rd edition of the Congress, organised by the National ICT Association of Malaysia, PICOM, which will take place from September 13th to 16th in Penang next year, is expected to gather over 160 international speakers and participants from more than 80 foreign countries. Malaysia has maintained its strong position globally, ranking second highest in Southeast Asia and 12 out of 169 countries for trade connectivity. According to the DHL Global Connectedness Index (GCI) report, Malaysia also improved the depth and breadth of its global connectedness to 15th and 28th places in the world respectively. DHL Express Malaysia and Brunei Managing Director Julian Neo said Malaysia's consistent top 20 ranking in the Global Connectedness Index is evidenced by a steady growth in Malaysia's trade with ASEAN. The GCI report said Southeast Asian countries benefit from linkages with the wider Asian supply chain networks, as well as ASEAN policy initiatives promoting economic integration. The report also stated that Malaysia and 3 other Southeast Asian countries, Cambodia, Singapore and Vietnam, were economies where international flows exceeded expectations the most. InvestKL has successfully attracted 78 multinationals, MNCs with approved and committed investments of 11.7 billion ringgit, created 11,693 regional high-skilled jobs since 2011 up to last year. Of the total, 51% of the foreign investments from Europe, 26% from the United States of America, while 22% from Asia and 1% from Africa. As of last year alone, 12 MNCs were attracted with approved and committed investments of 2.3 billion ringgit, which have created 1,399 jobs, bucking the 2018 global investment trend.
You're looking at people investing a lot of money that is going to be for the next 10, 20, 30 years, even longer, right? So I think there are basically probably 2 types of funds flow that we are dealing with. So the current stock market, the KLSC stock index, whatever it is, I think is not an indicator of the long-term resilience, robustness and fundamentals of Malaysia.
He said this at the InvestKL Performance Media Update 2018 earlier today. From the total committed investments since 2011, 6.63 billion ringgit or 57% of the 11.7 billion ringgit investments have been realised, with 7,516 high-skilled regional jobs on the payroll. Of these, 80% employed are Malaysians with an average annual income of 110,124 ringgit. Meanwhile, InvestKL has placed an even higher target this year to attract 13 MNCs versus 12 MNCs last year, albeit the uncertain global landscape. The target was set based upon the pipeline of new investments and reinvestments from companies already in the country via the Trade and Investment Mission to the United States of America next month.
We see a number of companies engaging in e-commerce and digital. So we are able to go back to some of the traditional sectors, even banking, insurance, for example, healthcare, industrial products, consumer products, all of them are embracing digital. So you're right, it's not necessarily new companies. These are new activities. And in the upcoming US trade mission with our minister, watch that space. There will be some new announcements, but these are companies that are already here, but moving up the value chain.
Financial tightening, as everyone remembers.
Apart from the US, he added Europe, China, Japan and South Korea would be other countries in focus to attract MNCs to make Malaysia their regional hub. That wraps up Bizworld this time around. I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for investing your time with us.